everybody has their day. No matter how good you are, no matter how much you've done for that organization, everybody has that day. Do you think it's time to get rid of Bill Belichick?
Look, man, I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna be real. Bill Belichick gonna go down as the greatest head coach in the NFL history, one of the greatest defensive minds ever, just one of the greatest coaches in any sport in the history of professional sports. But it's time for him to go be a family man.
Wow.
It's time for him to go chill, kick his feet up, just be drinking beer on Sunday, watching games like us. It's the end of the road. And I hate to see him. No, I don't hate to see him go out like this, but it is kind of sad to watch one of the greatest to ever do what he's done go out
Death
like this
by
because of by McCorkle Jones.
young McCorkle Jones. Young McCorkle Jones. Hey, look, man.
We can't call him young McCorkle Jones anymore.
He's young McCorkle Jones.
He's
It
just
is
McCorkle.
young
Just
McCorkle,
McCorkle.
man. Look, nothing will end your career faster than some mid QB play. Like nothing. Not bad
Oh,
QB play, you'll live that. You can live through that because look at what I got. Yeah, you can get like 6 wins. People give you credit for that kind of thing. But some mid QB play, some QB play that people can fool themselves into thinking could be better if you weren't there. Woo! Don't nothing get you fired like that. Okay, let me tell you something. Kirk Cousins, list of fired coaches behind him. Okay, don't, don't nothing get. People think that the QB that gets you fired is like the Anthony Richardsons of the world, and that is true. That can get you fired. But mid QB, ooh, that can get you fired. Baker Mayfield got like 3 of them fired. Like straight up, got like a bunch of them fired. Don't nothing get you fired faster than some mid at QB. All right, like it's extraordinary that Marvin Lewis kept his job as long as he had Andy Dalton out there throwing them footballs. Like it's extraordinary. But you know what? Mid gets you into trouble because you go way too hard to trade for it. Mid gets you in trouble because you do way too much to keep it. Okay. Shout out Hugh Jackson. Remember, not talking about the second time he got fired. I'm talking about the OG time he got fired because he really wanted to keep Carson Wentz. I mean, not Carson Wentz, Carson Palmer. Carson Wentz also got a Super Bowl coach fired. Okay. Doug Peterson won the Super Bowl in Philly with Nick Foles, and he got fired because Carson Wentz. All right. Like, well, I don't think that's exactly what got him fired, but I do know it got dude in Indianapolis fired. Just look at the mid quarterbacks of the world, and you'll find a list of fired coaches behind them. And Mike Tomlin, watch out, bro, because you have some tendencies at quarterback that I'm telling you right now, they're going to get you fired, dog. Like, this is going to get you fired. Like, Kenny Pickett is exactly the type of quarterback that can get Mike Tomlin fired because people have convinced themselves, because he's a hometown hero there, that he's actually good. And they going to look at Mike Tomlin like, well, if Matt Canada can't go, then, brother, you going to have to go over Kenny Pickett. Don't forget, Bill Belichick got fired over Vinny Testaverde in Cleveland. Like, this is what happens. It's some mid will get you fired in the NFL. Let Deshaun Watson be some mid. Kevin's out, okay? Like, they're going to find somebody to make that mid better. Mid will get you fired at the quarterback position. But let's hear what Stephen A. and Shannon have to say about such a situation.
Here's why. I don't want this to be taken out of context. Bill Belichick is a 6-time champion as a head coach, an 8-time champion as a coach, period, 2 as a defensive coordinator. We understand his level of greatness. And no one, first of all, people who are in football, who are participants like you and Shannon were and still are, you have a right to dissect them in a way that somebody like me cannot. It's results oriented.
You already know it's about to be a bomb when he start trying to be humble. Like when he like, I can't dissect the game like y'all can, and this and that. He know he about to say something real diabolical and unpopular. Like,
real quick. Patriots outscored 72-3 the last 2 weeks. Dog. Hey, in one of them games to the Saints are not good, bro. They are not a good team.
The Saints beat them 34-0.
Hey, bro.
Who was the other team, Cole? Who was the other team?
It don't even matter. 34-0 to the Saints. All you need to know, bro. Bill, quit.
For somebody like myself. Okay, it is what it is. As a coach, there's nothing to talk about. I'm not even qualified to address his greatness. But I ain't blind. From 2013 to now, Jeff Saturday, Shannon Sharp, as I said yesterday, the man has drafted 2 All-Pros.
Yeah.
2. One was a punter, and another one was a punt returner.
Yeah.
And that is it. Now,
Them ain't even real All-Pros. Them ain't even real All-Pros. Let's keep it a buck. That don't count. Just like he's drafted 0. We don't count special teams All-Pros. So nobody give a damn about that. Ooh. Did anybody care that the Browns had Josh Cribbs and Phil Dawson outside of Cleveland?
I'm about to say we cared. We definitely cared.
We cared. Yeah. But guess what Pittsburgh wasn't doing? Oh man. What we gonna do, dog? Every time we score, we might give up a point. Like that don't nobody care about that. Like we if you got great special teams, you know what that means? You're real good at getting consolation prizes. Like that's what it is. It's a consolation prize.
You hear how hard Stephen A said punter?
He said one's a punter.
Punter.
And the other one a punt returner. That boy ain't even got no kickers. He ain't even got a kicker, dog. We talking about Dave Zastadil and Jakeem Grant. Like, that's pretty much.
Yo, Stephen
that don't count. That don't count. And let's talk about who are some teams that like have been seen as horrible drafters? The Browns, you will definitely throw in there. They've definitely got more than 2 All-Pros in real positions.
The Bears,
just in 2 drafts alone, I could go Myles Garrett, Denzel Ward.
Terrible drafters.
The Raiders. Had the Raiders had 2 All-Pros? Amari Cooper has been All-Pro. Has he been? Max Crosby was undrafted.
No, he wasn't. Max Crosby was he was like a 4th round pick.
By the Raiders?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Okay. So they got Max Crosby. Do they have another one? Was Amari Cooper All-Pro?
I know he was a Pro Bowler. I'm not sure he's All-Pro.
Either way, I would rather have Max Crosby and Amari Cooper than anybody that they drafted in the last 10 years. By the way, why do we keep hiring people from the Patriots front office? Why?
Listen.
Why? These things blow my mind. Like Josh McDaniels has jobs because he was like, ooh, he could bring in this guy, Nick Caserio, whoever the hell it was, from the Patriots front office. I'm like, why would you want anybody from that front office? They suck. They're not good. But nonetheless, let's continue to hear them.
Now that is egregious.
Yeah.
That is egregious. And when you have facilitated the departure of Tom Brady because you didn't want to kiss the proverbial ring because you had your own rings. And essentially that led to...
Ain't no way we talking about goddamn Gunnar Olszewski.
That's the other baby.
Jake Bailey and Gunnar Olszewski. Who fumbled that, who, if you don't know who he is, and if you are a Browns fan, he's the dude who fumbled after Denzel Ward hit him. That's who Gunnar Olszewski is.
Hey, respect the All-Pro. Respect the All-Pro.
Nah, I don't count him. I don't care. I'm not counting that. I don't count it. Call it something else. Special teams All-Pros don't count. Unless, like, kicking all pros, I'll count one team. I don't want to hear third team all pro though for a kicker. I'll count one team all pro. And maybe if you cold, like they should give out a first team all pro punt or kick returner every year. It should just be when there's like a Devin Hester, a Josh Cribbs, like somebody who's legitimately cold at the kick returns. Not like who's the best one year because we got to pick somebody. That's how you end up calling Gunnar Olszewski an all pro.
Somebody else needs to pick and select the talent. I have no questions about you as a coach.
Right.
But as an executive, as the guy that that goes to the supermarket and does the shops for the groceries, like Bill Parcells once said,
yeah,
you're not that dude.
Right.
And if he can't accept that, then I got to move on.
Yeah.
They make an excellent point, and this is why Bill Belichick should be fired as a GM immediately. He hitched his horse onto two guys at some point in his time. He really hitched his horse to Jimmy Garoppolo. He was forced to trade him by Robert Kraft. But remember, he was hitching his horse to Jimmy Garoppolo. And he hitched his horse to McCorkle Jones. This man has not learned the lesson. Okay? He has not. He got rid of the Zap man for this. Okay? Nope. Gotta get rid of him. Gotta get rid of him. Absolutely.
Of a coach he is.
No.
You don't have the talent to execute, Shannon, Jeff. What can you do?
That's right.
And that's my position.
Yeah. And when you look at this football team, there's nothing scary about it.
Hey, y'all remember Jeff Saturday used to be the head coach of the Indianapolis?
Hey, dog, I knew I wasn't crazy. I knew I wasn't crazy. I was like, wait a second. What he just wanna
Nah,
do?
don't try to slip that one past me, ESPN. This was coaching last year. What happened?
Hey,
he had a
got
press
Jeff.
conference and everything.
Hey, salute to Jeff. Get your money, dog. He got that job back quick, didn't he?
He back like ain't nothing happened. Like the ESPN had all these layoffs, everything happened. They done got rid of like 90% of the roster, but they found space for Jeff.
Hey, keep getting them checks, dog. I respect it.
That's crazy. Keep getting them checks. That man got fired. Okay, the man who coined the term "keep getting them checks," Jalen Rose, is fired from ESPN right now. He ain't getting no checks no more. But Jeff Saturday,
I forgot about that. I forgot they let Jalen go. That's my fault. That's my
they
bad.
let Jalen go. Did they keep Jacoby? I don't think they kept Jacoby either.
Defensively, it's not like you're like, man, I'm really worried to play this defense. Like, there's really no part about it. And coaching, listen, if teams are equal or pretty close, coaching can play it can have a large impact on games. The reality is the Jimmys and Joes matter, right? Like Tom Brady, whether it was Belichick or Tom Brady, it was the combination of both of them but there's a lot of great players that have cured a lot of ails for coaching mistakes, man. And you think about the Hall of Fame players and the coaches that get aligned with them, that's usually who wins Super Bowls, right? I mean, you think about Drew Brees, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, like all of those coaches are and how much better they look with those guys.
He brings up a great point because you'll have this argument whenever your team sucks and it's always about the coach. But he's right. There's no team that wins the Super Bowl because of their coach. Like, no team. Like, you might win it because your coach is good, but you largely get there because you have really good players. No teams out here like, yeah, man, we got Greg Popovich. Like, that's basically just that, right? Like, no teams just walking out here with no stars winning the Super Bowl because they're well coached like they did in the 40s. Like, I think we have a tendency to overemphasize coaching in football a lot. And I think that's a great point of it because we'll make coaches who had great teams, great coaches, when they might not have been that. They might have just been the beneficiary of a really good team.
I'm trying to think of the coach that would fit that description right now because I can't think of it.
Mike McCarthy won the Super Bowl. Tell me that wasn't about him. Tell me that was about him. Tell me it was about him.
There we go.
There's a bunch of them about who's on the team, y'all. Like, the team, you can't sit here and say the coach is the problem for everything because the coach ain't even the reason you winning. The reason you winning is the players. Any play could be a good play if you got good enough players. Let me tell you, jet reverse double sweep only sucks when you don't got the players to run jet reverse double sweep. All right, like you only hate end arounds when Debo's not running them, right? But when Debo's running them, you love end arounds. Wonder what the variable is. It's Debo. Y zone looks great when Nick Chubb runs it. When Nick Chubb not running it, it don't look great. What's the difference? It's not getting coached any different, Cole. I promise you that. It's the same coaching. It's the dude running the ball. We always do this where we boil it down to like, oh, it's got to be the coaching. It's got to be this. No, these players are great. It's the play calling. And in very rarely is that ever really the case. Even when he points to the Browns, right? The Browns are a team that you can point to where it's like, oh, well, Jim Schwartz got there. They got significantly better. It's also because they don't have that bullshit defensive line anymore. And they went and got an actual NFL defensive line. And where you can get pressure and your secondary's good. It's crazy. The defense is good. Like they were in 2021, Cole, when Joe Woods was there, when they were getting pressure, okay, with that defensive line. Remember that? When Joe Woods was a good defensive coordinator in 2021 because his defense was getting pressure in the front. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's almost as if the coaches are kind of like a periphery matter. And that's why a lot of teams figure out that maybe we shouldn't fire this dude because firing the coach really just destabilizes your franchise and it's not worth it because the coach, as long as he's not an absolute mess, can usually be fine. Hey, you wonder why the Cincinnati Bengals ain't as much of a mess as the Cleveland Browns? Ain't like Marvin Lewis is that much better than any coach that the Browns had over the last 20 years. They just kept him. Like, all of a sudden they're stable. It's a crazy philosophy, Cole. You know what I mean? I know, right? The only thing that can hurt your team is when you change coaches and then you have a bunch of guys who nobody has a vision for. And the division keeps changing because every 3 years you get a different coach in there, so guys get lost on the roster. It's nuts, but I'm starting to think that maybe coaching's a little bit overrated. I don't know where you at on that, Cole.
First and foremost, people go watch this video and they're gonna be like, Quincy, you said Joe Woods is good in 2021. He's terrible. He's awful. Just get ready for that. Just get ready for that in the comments.
Hey, man, they can be mad. Don't mean I'm not right. Like, people thought he was decent in 2021. They was like, it's not the defense. It's Baker Mayfield. That's what we were doing this, dog. Same thing we're saying right now we were doing 2 years ago.
Absolutely. Just following up on the whole like destabilizing a franchise by firing a coach and trying to start everything over once again. Like,
the only reason they got to fire Bill, only reason they got to fire Bill is because he's picking the players and he sucks at it.
That's it.
That's the only reason they got to fire Bill. If it's were about coaching, they don't got to fire Bill. It also, Cole, how many coaches that people consider Hall of Fame have been fired? A lot.
A whole lot.
Whole lot. Firing your coach is breaking your controller. The only thing with Bill that makes this different is that he's picking the players and he has been demonstratively terrible at it for the last 10 years. Especially, specifically in drafting. He's been demonstratively bad. That's the only reason he's got to go. But if he had a better quarterback than McCorkle Jones, he wouldn't be out here getting fired. Okay, that's what it is. The players are always more important than the coach. I don't care what somebody tries to tell you. Jeff Saturday's 100% right. The players are more important. I promise you, you're not beating Peyton Manning with Nick Foles because you got the right coach. That's stupid. Why stop watching Rudy. That don't happen. Okay, this ain't remember the Titans.
Stop watching Rudy is crazy.
Denzel walking on the sideline ain't gonna win that game, dog. You gonna get blown out. Okay,
stop watching Rudy.
Man. We be buying into these fantasies like it's Friday Night Lights, and the coach is gonna give these guys a once in a generation pep talk that's gonna turn them into no, man. It's usually boils down to he fast, I can't cover him. That's what it boils down to. He's strong, I can't stop him. That's what I promise you. That's more powerful than scheme. Okay. That's more powerful than scheme. That's what wins and lose football games. He fast, I can't tackle him. That's what loses you games. That's what happens.
Bro, he fast. I can't come from.
Tell me what scheme gonna stop Tyreek Hill. Somebody in the comments, tell me the scheme that's gonna shut down Tyreek Hill. I promise you, it ain't one. Okay.
Hey, bro. I know sometimes players that went to the coach and be like, "Hey, coach, I ain't gonna lie, it ain't happening."
Hey, man. Ain't no scheme gonna save you. That's what football is. It's a simple game. It's a simple game made complicated by very, very, very bored men. Okay, like that's what it is. He's strong. I can't stop him. You know why Myles Garrett is good? Ain't the scheme. The scheme don't make Myles good. You know why Myles Garrett good? Can't nobody block him. Okay, like.
Hey, bro, I could be coaching Myles Garrett. He gonna get 16 sacks.
Myles Garrett don't need a coach. Myles, go get him.
Go ahead with that.
You see him? See, it's the blindsidification of football. People saw Sandra Bullock tell this man how to block, and they think that's what happens in the NFL. That ain't what happened. Look. That left tackle, though, ain't nothing he can do. They be telling him all week, hey, man, if you get in trouble, do this, do that, this. And then he get on the sideline, none of that working. Hey, man, do your best. Like, that's what it is. That's what it is.
Try your hardest.
I promise you, coaching is only supplementary. If you ain't got the players, coaching might not matter as much. Now, if you playing two really good teams, y'all playing two really good games, and everything's equal, all right, a coaching decision can flip it either way. That's true. But if it ain't that, then it don't matter. Yeah, Mike McDaniels, is he a genius? Is he not? I don't know. I just know he has Tyreek Hill and Jerry Jeudy. Like, nobody can stop him.
You beat Jalen Waddle.
Jalen Waddle, not Jerry Jeudy. Jerry Jeudy not as good as Jalen Waddle. He got Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill, and can't nobody do nothing with that. They got two. He fast, can't cuff him. Okay, like,
hey, for real, they got four of them dudes, to be for real with you, because the running backs fast like that.
Yeah. See, that's a man who understands. It ain't about him. It's about he fast, can't do nothing with that. Okay. He's strong. You know why Jim Schwartz is a good defensive coordinator? Because he's like, oh, they good? I'm going to let them be good. Celebrate. Yeah, celebrate after you make it. Yeah, I'm going to just let y'all be good. I ain't going to try to tell y'all where to be. I'm not going to try to coach y'all. I'm going to just let y'all. Wait, you know how I know that's the case, Cole? They run man like 80% of the time now. It's ridiculous. When you run that much man on defense, that is you good. I'm going to let you be good. Like,
hey, if we want to be real, Jim Schwartz said that when he first got here. He's like, nah, I'm going to make it simple and not make it too complicated. Just let him play.
Yeah, I'll hide the shell and disguise something, and then we'll come up with some rules about some pick and roll stuff. But basically, it's just, hey, man, let them be good. And on offense, it ain't that difficult. You can do RPO, all this crazy, complicated stuff. But let me tell you something. If you can throw that ball faster than they can get to it, you go have a lot of wins. It sounds like the most simple shit in the world, but it's true. Like, if you have a wide receiver that can get to this spot and a quarterback who can throw to this spot before they can get to that spot, guess what? You winning. Like, that's basically the game right there. You can try to get to it a million different ways, but what makes the Dolphins great? Because Tyreek Hill can run fast as hell and Tua can get it to him. Okay, that's what and the stress that causes the defense opens up everybody else. It's about the players, man. It's about the players. Coaching, people who are trying to tell me that better coaching and Josh Dobbs could have beat the Ravens for the Browns, that's ridiculous. Okay, it's absolutely absurd. But that's it for this video, Cole. Y'all have a great day. Have an even better night.